Hey, it's Elliot.
And Sarah.
And this is 100 weeks of encouragement. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Sarah and I talked about this. We want to do 100 weeks of encouragement. Maybe not every week in consecutive order, and maybe we'll be like in our 50s by the time this project is complete. But I think this is like video 30 something, and we want to go to 100. So we're going to keep bringing these videos to you. Hopefully they're encouraging. Today's video is titled Encourage That God Will Not Scrap the Project. And we're doing this today because 17 years ago, I woke up, I was in 6th grade, made my breakfast, turned on the news, and there was a burning building on live TV. And it was really confusing. And then, especially, as you know the rest of the story, another plane hit a second building, and thousands of people died right there in front of me on our TV back home. And you know, like, how does God respond to total tragedy at the evil, hands of humans against other humans? And so we're gonna look at that. We're gonna look at that response. It's right here.
Yeah, so this is in John 3, and it says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him." I love that second verse, verse 17. "For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him." And I think when maybe somebody from the outside thinks about Jesus and thinks about his church and people who are followers of him, I think perhaps the misconception is that there's this condemnation that's somehow looming over that's the overshadowing idea, is that, the Christians or people who Jesus, like, that's just all condemnation. But there's nothing further from the truth that the presence of Jesus and those who follow Jesus, that his presence is to save people, to save them from the condemnation and the brokenness that our world has lately in it. And that perhaps maybe, like, I think we all, when we look at our reflection, we see the condemnation, we see the brokenness, we see just the sickness and just the fallen nature that is humanity. And yet what God offers us, the gift that he has, even in the midst of that brokenness, is no condemnation and an invitation to accept salvation for our souls. Yeah,
God doesn't scrap the project. Isn't that encouraging? That even in a world that has really real tragedies, it's like this dystopia compared to what God created it to be. In the midst of that, God doesn't scrap you. He doesn't scrap me. He doesn't throw away the human project. He comes to save it. So today we're encouraged
that God doesn't scrap the project.
That God doesn't scrap the project. 100 weeks of encouragement. We'll see you next time.